So as part of the functions, as we finish string manipulation functions, let us get into date manipulation functions. These are the some of the important functions I have identified as part of the date functions, which you should have knowledge of. So current date gives the today's date. Current timestamp will give both date as well as time, like this. If you actually use current underscore date, it gives only the date, and if you want the timestamp also, you just use timestamp. If you want to add or subtract number of days to a date and get a new date based upon the number of days added, you just use date add. Date format is one important function where you can convert your date into a particular format where we can extract certain information. For example, select date format takes two parameters. One is date or string or timestamp. You can get the information by saying describe function date format if you want to get those details, and then you have to pass whatever whatever format you want to represent the data. For example, if you just want to get the year from the date, you can say y in single quotes and then semicolon. It will extract the year. So you are getting year from the date. If you want to get the day, you can say D. It's 7th day in the current month. If you use capital D, it will get the date in the year. So the way you can understand all these different formats is by going to the official documentation of Hive. Okay, so let me show you how you can actually navigate it to it. It's a bit complicated, but they might provide you in a bit straight manner way at the time of certification. If they don't, you don't try to struggle with it. Just make better guesses and get it done by seeing the reference material by using commands themselves. Okay, so here I got to the language manual of Hive, and then you can actually click on this operator and use the different functions as part of the data retrieval, which is nothing but queries, which we are talking about. And then we are talking about built-in functions, and we are talking about date functions. And in this, I'm actually talking about date format. The supported formats are not highlighted in this documentation at all. Okay, it is actually pointing to Java documentation. I'm not sure whether this link will work in the certification or not. So be a bit careful with the external links. The documentation will be provided to you, but I'm not sure about this link will be provided or not. However, I don't think they will go with a very complex requirement of changing the date format into a complicated way. So you can actually go through these things, practice quite a bit, and get better at it. So as I have shown you, if you just use Y, it will print the year. If you use M, it will print the month. If you use D, it will print day in month. If you use capital D, it will print day in year, so on and so forth. Okay, and then the day function will actually get output of this. So instead of using date format with the two arguments, date as well as the format, if you just say select day of current date, it will get the today's day within the month. Okay, you can also say, I think, day in year. I'm not sure whether it is there or not. It's not there. Day of year, yeah. Day of year also, I think, not there. Day of month is there, but day of year is not there. Yeah. If I say day of month, okay, I think day will give the date within a week. Yeah. So today is 7th October, and it's a seventh day in a week. I think they give the day within a week, and day of month will give month day within the month. So day of month for 8th of October will be 8, whereas day will be 1. Let us see that. 17, 10, 9. Sorry, it should be day. 2017, 10, 9. Okay, day and day of month both are giving the same output. I don't know why they have. So let me see. Describe function day returns the day of the month of date or timestamp. Yeah. So my first assumption itself is correct. And I think day is nothing but shortcut for day of month. I don't know why they have uh, two functions. Again, they might want to support the experience of multiple databases. In some databases, there might be a function called day of month. In some databases, the same thing might be represented as day. Okay. That being said, to date, you can convert a string or which string or something which are in proper format into the date. Okay. So if I just say select uh, current date, whatever date format you got, if you from that, if you have a string and if you apply toDate function, it will convert into a date data type. Again, in Hive, it doesn't make much of a sense because dates are also represented as strings only internally. But this is just to support the existing databases. Okay. One use you might get is if you have time also in the data like this, and if you want to convert this timestamp to a date and exclude this part, you can use to date and pass the current timestamp to that, and then close the brackets and then hit enter. So this is the only advantage I have seen. There are other ways also to get the date. One of the ways is use toDate to convert the timestamp into a date. Okay, and then some of the very important functions are converting a date into Unix timestamp. Unix timestamp is nothing but starting from 1970 January 1st or something. I don't know the exact date. From there, every second it will tick, and it will give us a unique value every second. Okay, that is what Unix timestamp is. There is a function called Unix timestamp also. Okay, Unix timestamp, there is no function. Okay, actually I select to Unix timestamp. Unix underscore timestamp. Let me try this. Select Unix underscore timestamp. Yeah, there is no Unix underscore timestamp, which will give the current time. I was expecting it will be there. So let me say to underscore Unix timestamp, and I can pass current date to it. It will convert a date into a timestamp. So this is the unique value for today's date, midnight. I think you can also get it for timestamp. It will include the time also. Okay. So this is how you can convert the date or timestamp into Unix timestamp. If you want to convert this back to the regular date, you can use from Unix timestamp. and you can convert it into regular date. So select from Unix time and then give this number. You can get the current time. Okay, it stores only up to the second. And from this, if you just want to extract the date, what you can do, you can just say to date on top of this, and it will discard the time and it will only get up the date. Okay, so now if the problem statement is to convert existing data in the database into Unix timestamp for whatever reason, you can use this two Unix timestamp and you can convert the regular date into Unix time. The advantage of using these functions is if you actually store the time in the form of date, when you try to do huge data processing, performance will be better. So here, this using Unix timestamp, you are converting the date into the number. So processing anything as numbers versus processing the same thing as strings, performance will be better if you use numbers, and that's why in some cases people actually convert actual dates into Unix timestamps, which are nothing but numbers, and then they preserve that will be preserved in the database. Okay, so now if I look at the data from orders, we have a this field. Let us see if I can actually apply toDate on it directly. So this field is nothing but string data type in the database. Date is also represented as string only in Hive, but there is data type called date. It is just informational, but internally it is nothing but represented as string. Okay, so here I am saying order date from orders limit 10 and hit enter, and you can see as it is matching the YYY-MM-DD and then time format, we can apply these some of these date functions and you can get the results. Now if you want to add a few days for each and every date, you can also say date add and hit enter. For each and every day it has added 10 days. Okay, so like this you can use these functions against the original data itself, and there will be many scenarios where you will be doing this on regular basis. And there are few more functions which are quite obvious by going through these functions, and exploring these for the certification is more than enough. But over a period of time you might have to explore a bit more functions when it comes to manipulating the dates.